recordings. We do have them on our website. So those who did not attend or did attend and want to rewatch the whole event, available on our website. Going back to it also is that when we're buying these notes, Jonathan had a question regarding, can you self-direct your IRA to buy a hypothecation note in your personal LLC? Meaning, sounds like to me he's trying to hypothecate to himself. I would say direct yourself to your custodian, stuff like that. I'm going to say that's probably self-dealing, but I'm not going to be an attorney on that play. But
I mean, I would tend to agree with you, David. I mean, you got to go back to the custodian on the account. You got to go back to the documents that you executed with your IRA, whichever whatever company it is.
Yeah, you just can't self-deal. That's the worry I have with that, is that if you're going to borrow money from yourself at 14%, it's kind of dangerous, right?
Question, but probably not legal.
A good question.
Yeah.
Risky. Not
Yeah.
sure.
So I wanted to, for those who are looking to sell these things or buy these things, understand we're not going to buy it at par, which is a definition word that we want to make sure you understand. It means 100% of UPB. That if you have a loan at 12%, we're going to ask for a discount because of time value of money. I'll put in the chat also a link to a little chart that we put together to kind of get an understanding of, if you're creating these notes, be sure you don't write these notes at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% returns. Interest rates, because you literally can't sell them. We have to discount so much. The chart I put in the chat shows you that kind of idea. So on top of making sure the interest rate's high enough, the term, if you can get it lower, that's a great thing to get the most out of your note, but also make sure the collateral and the actual origination of the note is legally clear, which means we've had webinars on this. Make sure your RMLO and underwriting is being done. And if you're creating this stuff, make sure you follow the laws of Dodd-Frank, especially if there's an owner occupant, that you are following, because we can't buy them. We literally can't buy them because it makes it really difficult for us to foreclose if we have to. So you've got to be sure you're doing that.
So maybe slight clarification. We may be able to buy them, but we'd have to discount it even further, because then we're going to have to fix it.
Yes.
And again, like we said, that costs time and money. So even if we could buy it, it's going to be at a lower price. And if you're willing to take the discount, then come talk to us. But just realize that that's a pretty major factor.
It is. So the chart's a big numbers game, right, that I put together for you guys. I saw loan the other day, listed about 6 notes, all under 5% or 6%. And I said, listen, I'm going to buy these things at like 40 cents on a dollar, just not possible to get 11% yield. So we're buying on yield. We're discounting on the yield feature and saying, what can we buy it at? It just doesn't make sense for you guys, because banks are creating notes at 7. Why are you creating at 5 or 6? It just doesn't make sense. And I get the fact you're worried about LTV. That's a byproduct of our concerns, because really, first we're concerned about what goes in our pocket. LTV is a secondary feature.
Don't try to compete with the banks.
Your borrower would have went to a bank if he could. They couldn't. So make sure that you're charging the interest rate that matches that.
It's like trying to compete with Walmart. You're going to lose. Just don't do it. Make sure you charge a little more interest rate, because that borrower could not go to the bank. That's the feature, is that borrower, if you're writing 5% notes, the borrower should be able to go to the bank and get it. If they couldn't, I'm going to say the words take advantage of, but. So Sean, what's the interest rate that would be considered usurious in Texas right now?
Anything over 18%.
So you've got some leeway there. So if you want to write a loan at 12%, go for it. You're going to be fine. We're going to be way more likely to buy that, and you're going to be happy with the price.
We can hypothecate at 15, right? Or 16 or 17, up to 18. It makes sense for us right now. We're doing a couple in Virginia right now at 17. I just got to make sure the this law protects me okay on that, and then finding a Sean out in Virginia to help me out on the other side of it. So, and I hope that gentleman's listening right now, because we're looking to close that before the 15th. A bunch of hypothecations on that. So we do these webinars not only to teach you guys, but to learn ourselves. So we hope you guys continue to join us and continue to follow along as we bridge the gap between note buyers and note sellers. We've been doing this for over 15, almost, I've been doing it for 13. Nathan's been 15 years. But we want to bring people on like Sean on. If you have any additional questions before we close up here, please put in the chat. This again will be recorded. We'll be on YouTube. We'll be on our podcast. It'll also be on LinkedIn and Facebook, the recording. So I want to make sure if you have any questions for Sean, click the link, fill out the form, and we'll get it over to Sean to answer specific questions on any kind of specific deals. But keep all all accounting, CPA, tax things to those kind of people and custodians. So we're almost at the top of the hour. I'll let Nathan finalize us, and we'll let the audience go.
So just curious, Sean, we asked this to everybody who's on. We're always looking to the future. We're always trying to figure out, trying to see what's coming down the pipe. With your experience and deals that you've been working on more lately, do you see any kind of patterns? Do you see anything changing coming up in the next 6-12 months?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, in that I think it's going to get, and has been, and it's only going to get better, frankly, for investors, right? Anybody in the creative finance world, wrap, sub-twos, anybody in the note buying world. I mean, when you see these interest rates rising, people are forced to get more creative. It looks like, you and David have been doing this a long time, so you're just what you do. But for a lot of people, even maybe some on this call, they've been forced to get in there because they started thinking, well, there's other ways I can make money. How am I going to figure that out? And with rising interest rates, I mean, you saw this in the 90s a bit. With rising interest rates, you see an uptick in the amount of creative finance world. I can tell you personally, through my title company, we have closed a significant more subject to wrap seller finance transactions in the last year than we did probably the last 3 years. And it's because of the change in the real estate market. So, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty excited about it. So, and I'm excited that now creative financing, I've been on this crusade to dispel the rumors and the negative stereotypes for creative financing for years. And I'm excited where I feel like it's finally getting to a place where even real estate agents are going, you know what, it ain't that bad, right?
Yeah.
There's people with integrity in this business, and I want to do business with that person. And so that's where I see the market going. I think it's only going to increase.
Absolutely.
Very interesting.
So I'll answer Susan's question real quick regarding, does note prices change if you have a seasoned or non-seasoned notes with or without third-party servicers? Yes, seasoning notes have a little more risk to it. We want to show proof of ability to pay, even though they went through the underwriting process. I would say that seasoned notes, definitely third-party servicers. We encourage you to use third-party servicers. If you're not and you're self-servicing, make sure you follow all the rules required, meaning a monthly statement, end of year stuff. But yes, there's a slight discount on that. And also, if you're writing land contracts versus mortgages, that's another factor. You can use the chart to see what the differences are. And each note buyer, me and Nathan, are not together. We have different companies. We just enjoy talking to each other. We price things differently. So I would encourage you to reach out. I believe our feed, you can go to the website and reach out to me and Nathan anytime and ask some specific questions. So, Sean, it was a pleasure having you on. I think our phone call initially came across as both of us saying, I'm not sure if this is going to fit, and ended up being a perfect fit. I couldn't have found a better guest for us to join in and explain the differences and maybe I'll help. I hope that people reach out to you, Sean, especially in Texas. I know Nick is a big fan of you, and to worry about your wrap notes and stuff like that, owner finance, subject twos, reach out to Sean. He's a great attorney down in Texas. And if you're doing hypothecations, which most notes, I think is 80% of originating notes, owner finance notes is in Texas. We'll buy owner finance hypothecations all day long. So feel free to reach out to us and ask us questions. I appreciate you guys joining in. We're going to disconnect from everyone live and hold on to Sean for a few minutes. We appreciate everyone jumping in for the Friday afternoon.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.